Since my brother was killed, I have been processing grief. If you're familiar with this page and the conversations that I've had recently, then you know that. Uh, During this season, as I've been walking with this grief, I've been learning a lot of things. And I've also been remembering a lot of things. And one of them is that everything speaks. Now, what do I mean when I say everything speaks? Well, what does everything mean? I mean everything. I've been going over some of the signs that I got that this was going to happen or something like this was going to happen. Hi, T. Reed. And I've been trying to make sense of it because there's been different things. Like I said in the previous video, I warned my brother that this person that he was involved with would be a danger and that I didn't want to hear that something would happen to him because of this relationship. And as I've shared, he was killed. But I asked myself, well, why did I pick up on it? What unspoken things were telling me that this was a credible threat? And I've looked back on other things in my life that have shown up and given me either warnings or prepared me for things. And I've had just too many of them. And at this stage in my life, and with this level of grief that I'm dealing with right now, I don't have it in me to try to make sense of some of these things. I can only accept them, be grateful for them, and commit to listening better. And there's a number of things that happened, and some of them, they may sound out of this world. I can't do anything about that. I can't change the fact that when my brother was actively fighting for his life, something in my subconscious told me to start reading a book about someone facing how to face death with their eyes open. Nor could I expect or understand why I also started listening to an audio tape about a murderer in the afterlife explaining how they learned from murdering someone. And while I'm reflecting on that and asking myself, could I forgive someone who murdered someone I love? I found out my brother was murdered within a couple of hours of reading that. I can't explain these things, but what I can tell you is that if there's any intelligence in this world, then there's infinite intelligence in this world. Many of us who say we believe in God or divine mind or higher power or whatever word that we come up with to explain the unexplainable, we will say that this creator is intelligent. And so something intelligent can only create from intelligence. Something intelligent can't create something that's ignorant or stupid if it's emerging from intelligence. It's like if I make something out of clay, then clay is the essential nature of the thing that I made out of clay. It's just how it is. If God is intelligent, then everything that comes from God must also have intelligence. If God is love, then everything must, and to some degree, in its smallest constituents, be connected to love. That is just how it is. And we in our with our intelligence and with our unspoken awareness of love, we can be in denial. And that is what I have come to understand, is that while everything speaks and communicates to us the things of this world, denial is also something that we have a strong capacity for doing. Even in the Bible, which is strongly abused by many, many people, it says that all things created know the mind of God, even to the eternal Godhead, so that they are without excuse. It literally says all things created. What here isn't? And so if that book has any truth in it, if there's any mystical value or spiritual value, and for those folks who say they take it literally, who are mostly liars, they don't really take it literally, but those people who pretend to take it literally, if they did take it literally, they would see that it says that all things created know the mind of God, even until the eternal Godhead. That means that all things know and are connected to the source of all that is. So what do we do with that information? That means that this smoothie I'm drinking is consists of the same intelligence that informs my being. And the stupidest person I know, which I know many stupid people, are not actually stupid. They are in denial of their intelligence. And I am in a space right now where I cannot choose to be in denial of my intelligence. And I've been in denial of my intelligence before. I've been in relationships that didn't serve me. I've made decisions that didn't serve me. And I always had a little thing telling me do something different. A lot of times I do listen to it. Sometimes I don't. And when I don't, I'm in a denial of my intelligence. I'm in denial of the access to the intelligence that I have. I am not doing that anymore, which is going to change a lot of the conversations I have because I also, as I used to be when I was a child, I assumed that everyone was also connected to this intelligence. And now I'm going to assume that everyone is. And if people act like they aren't, I'm going to assume that they're in denial of it for some reason that I don't understand. But I'm not going to continue to give energy to people who choose to be in denial of their intelligence. I'm just going to not talk to them, or I'm going to make it extremely uncomfortable for them to be stupid in front of me. And that's where I am. But that's all love. And that goes back to another thing that I shared a few messages back, that love doesn't accept you as you are. A love accepts you as you're becoming and invites you to be more of who you are. Whenever people act the fool, as they used to say where I grew up, people don't just say, oh, they're acting a fool and just accept it. People who love them say, stop acting the fool. When people love people, they want them to be better than they might be showing up as in the moment. Not because they're trying to put them down. It's because they see something better. Like when my kid was a baby, I loved her, both of my kids. I loved them as babies, but I also knew that they were supposed to learn how to walk and learn how to talk and all these other things. And if I just said, oh, I love you as you are, just lay there and crap on yourself for the rest of your life and I'm going to stick food down your throat because I love you, that's not love. Love always wants us to flourish, to expand, to grow, to become more of what we can be. And then some of us choose to do it and some of us go into denial. That's the way I'm framing it. And so when I say everything speaks, I'm saying that everything is speaking to us and reminding us and telling us the fullness of who we are. And I am choosing to try to tune into it and then help other people tune into it as well. Because this experience with my brother's death has honestly done a number on me. As I said previously, I got several signs that somebody was about to die. And I tried to listen. I thought it was going to be me. So I was just like, shoot, let me get my stuff in order. I was thinking it was me, but I started feeling all these things. And I had already warned my brother, stay away from this person, and then after my brother died, I kid you not, I felt like my brother's presence was around me. And I said, well, I'm not trying to be a person that just because I'm in grief, I'm going to like start making up that somebody's around me or I'm feeling the presence or something like that. Cause I'm not a person to just make crap up. But I felt it. And I said inside of myself, Marcus, if you are here, you're going to have to make it undeniable so that I can just acknowledge your presence. Right. And moments later, my daughter says, hey, Dad, the fish on television's name is Marcus. And at first I thought she was mishearing because it was something in Japanese. And then next, it popped up on the screen, Marcus, master of the pond. And this giant koi fish pops up and the word Marcus comes across the screen. That's my brother's name. That happened. That is, to me, the connection to the intelligence that's in the universe. That intelligence is always around us. It's always there. It's always speaking to us. And what our work is to remove the veils from our intelligence. Does that mean everything's going to be mystical, magical, spiritual? Well, I don't know. If that serves you, then yes, maybe. If it doesn't serve you, then maybe not. But I think that what this world is here to do is to remind us of who we are. And just like a lot of ancient teachings teach, and even the Bible itself says that this whole world is for a sign, or it tells us that this world is a shadow. And sometimes when you see a shadow, you can get a sense of what that shadow is connected to, because shadows don't exist independent of anything. Shadows exist because of light and then an obstruction. So if there's an obstruction and light is cast upon the obstruction, then you see a shadow. So if you see a shadow that's shaped like a car, you know a car is there. If you see a shadow shaped like a person, then you know a person is there, and so is light. When I pick up on some signs and things like that, I've come to wonder that maybe what I'm seeing is a shadow in the that's being cast between the light and an obstruction. So I'm able to somewhat guess what I'm picking up on. And then I may be right or close to right, because you can see a shadow and think it's something that it actually isn't as well. But you know something's there, if that makes sense. So all this to say, listen to the intelligence that's all around you. Listen to the things that are speaking to you all around you. And it could be overwhelming. So try to um, pay attention in community where other people that are paying attention. One of the gifts of the situation that I'm in right now, while I'm struggling with my brother's passing, is I'm now surrounded with people who are more open-minded and able to reflect on things in a way that some of my, unfortunately, old-time religion people have not been able to do, because they're operating from a colonized mindset. No offense to them. And so they see what they've been taught to see. They hear what they've been taught to hear. They pick up on the clues that they've been told were there. And they read scriptures looking for something that somebody already told them. And the people who told them that are people who hate them. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. She said, condolences to you and your family. I appreciate that very much. But I am choosing to not do that. I'm choosing to believe that this world is full of beauty, full of love, full of intelligence, full of things to remind me of who I am and who others are, and things that will help me stay connected to the truth of who my brother is. Because the facts are that even though my brother is no longer in the body, he still exists. And I've been thinking about that a lot, not only just because of the thing that I saw on television with Marcus, which in the level of, you know, statistically, it could be some kind of coincidence, as a very awesome one, if it is one. But there, even in that, I know that my brother, the essence of who he is, wasn't just the body that he functioned in or lived in or expressed himself through. All of us are more than that. I mean, the largest part of me is memories, dreams, hopes, aspirations, all these invisible things that speak through me. But when I don't have my body anymore, does that mean that all those things are gone? I don't think so. I believe that all of us are made of infinite stuff. And that's another thing that I think we miss out on in this experience, because we've been convinced that this is the fullness of who we are. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that we are much more than that. And that in this season, I'm listening for reminders of who we are. Thank you, T-Ree. And so as I'm learning how to talk about this more openly, I may be all over the place sometimes. I'm actually more of a writer than I am a speaker. Even though I've learned to speak over the years, I'm more of a writer. I've been writing on this piece for probably about 9 days now, called The 5 Rages of Grief, because I have really strong access to my anger energy. But I learned to work with it over decades. And so usually when I'm angry, I learn how to navigate that anger and use it as positively as possible. And as I say in this piece, which hopefully I'll be done with it soon, but I talk about the anger as my inheritance, and I refuse to give it up, because as anger is an energy, and all energy can be used um, in a way that serves. And so I choose not to diminish my anger or lessen my anger just because it's not socially acceptable. I learned to work with it and craft with it, and create with it. And that's what I'm in the process of doing with this other piece. But I also have learned the value of being able to talk like this. And over the years, I have gotten better at doing that. And there once was a time where I did not speak publicly, and I was actually afraid to do so to some degree. And I stopped being like that, because somebody actually told me they hated hearing me speak because I only referenced books and didn't tell any true stories of my own life and all that other stuff. Excuse me. And so I took that feedback to heart and started cultivating the capacity to speak publicly. And I built that up over the years, but fundamentally, my primary way of expressing myself is through writing, because I can spread out the time and craft it and hone it. But I'm trying to do a little bit of both. So let me see. Thierry said, I was just thinking about my sister earlier and I gave thanks for the things she gave me when she walked this earth. So this combo is an affirmation for me. Thanks. Yes. Awesome, Thierry. I'm glad. I hope that more of us remember that the ones we love are always with us and that we can continue our relationship with them. I mean, I talk to my brother like every like month or so. So, I mean, most of the month I don't talk to him. We have our separate lives. But when I did talk to him, that like a lot of that isn't going to change. A lot of times I was thinking about him before I called him, or he was thinking about me before he called me, or I text here and there. So that level of communication is going to change, but the relationship doesn't have to go away. And I think that that's something that as more of us learn to accept that eternal nature of those who've been here and those who've gone, we'll also understand our own eternal nature. Because if we speak to them from a place of eternity and a place of understanding that they are still here in an eternal way that maybe we only can see a shadow of in this world, then we speak to them from our eternal nature. And that's a real thing too. So I'm going to start getting, hopefully better at articulating that because that's something that I experience in like meditations and prayers and sometimes in my writing and my reflecting on scriptures and stuff like that. But I don't talk about it that much because honestly, I think for a lot of times people thought it sounded kind of woo woo and not real Christian-y, but I don't give a crap about that anymore because Christians in America are effing hypocrites. So I don't have to do anything to try to make sense to them. Thank you, hypocrites. So at any rate, bless everybody who sees this and anyone who shares. And yep, Sharon, IMO, they are family still and our ancestors. Absolutely. I actually said that to my brother in my heart. I was like, I guess you're my ancestor now, bro. Even though he's younger than me in time, but now he's hanging out in the eternal. So he's my ancestor. So I appreciate you for being up here now. I appreciate those that will communicate in the future. Everything is speaking. Let's get better at listening and loving and creating the world that we know is possible because everything comes from love. Everything comes from intelligence and we are better than we've been. So let's live into it. Peace.